Hey guys, King here, and this is my latest vlog post in which I'm going to be reviewing Jurassic World. Before I start, I'll apologise for the picture and sound quality, particularly the sound quality. Turns out my brand new laptop, the jack that connects the microphone to it, doesn't work. So I'll have to get that sorted. That's also why some of the videos I promised a few weeks ago won't be coming out for even longer. But anyway, Jurassic World. This movie was absolutely fantastic. It had great action. It was fantastically well acted. It had an excellent ability to keep suspense while keeping you excited throughout the whole film. A lot of films, when they try to create an era of suspense around them, you just end up feeling bored. This film, I didn't feel bored because I was constantly sort of thinking, oh, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next. Oh, this is so exciting, this is so exciting. So, it was very good at that. And so I think the cast were great in all of their roles. But I did have a few problems. And firstly, even though the acting was great, I didn't much like any of the actual characters. Except for the younger kid, I didn't really find any of them to be that interesting or relatable or enjoyable to watch. I mean, I suppose the aunt was alright, but there were even times, sort of when she was organising things, where I was like thinking, I'm not sure I like you. And even the kid, who was really interested in dinosaurs and really great, he was kind of whiny, and whiny characters get annoying. I mean, just look at the last Airbender movie. The Hung in that, since they couldn't be bothered to call him Aang, he was really whiny throughout the whole film, and as a result, completely unbearable. Fortunately, this film, though, had some very creative ideas, very good ideas over how they were going to do a lot of it. But there were a lot of things that were never explained. Like, it was never explained how they got mosasaur DNA. I mean, it couldn't have been from a mosquito, because mosasaurs lived underwater. Are they seriously suggesting that a mosquito hit the mosasaur in a brief second in which it was breaching the surface? Oh, I don't get it. But, anyway, that's just a nitpick. And I can't complain too much about the mosasaur, because they remembered the freaking pterygoid teeth. You have no idea how glad it makes me, as a complete paleontology nut, to be able to look at an extinct reptile and know that they've got the dentition right. That is dedication on your part, Universal Pictures, and I commend you for that greatly. Now, one of the problems I had with the film, really though, was the main problem was I didn't much care for the effects. I mean, there was some practical effects. I mean, the Apatosaurus head that had been killed by the Indominus Rex, the Apatosaurus head, that definitely looked like a puppet. But, I mean, these people, admittedly under the guidance of the late great Stan Winston, have made some of the best practical effects in the history of cinema. The first three Jurassic Park films, I loved all of them, because they had this fantastic, groundbreaking use of both fantastic CGI, which still holds up to this day, and amazing practical effects. They freaking built life-sized models of T-Rex and of raptors, and particularly in the first film, they knew to only leave CGI as a last resort, because the more you see something's really there, the more it feels like the characters are in danger. and the more it feels like the characters are actually reacting to things. I mean, if you look in this film, you can tell that the raptors are just pixels, because there's no constant flicking between practical and CGI, so that when they use the CGI, your eye isn't in there. Because in this film, it's almost solely CGI, and I really found that disappointing. And I don't think it was made really any better by the fact that a lot of the scenes which we were told had practical effects, like the scene where the raptor is in the cage and raptors are in the cage and their heads are sort of coming out, people are stroking their heads. Those scenes they said were practical effects, but it looked like they put CGI over the practical effects, which effectively just made it look like CGI, and sort of made you wonder why they even used practical effect to begin with. So I was really disappointed that there was so little practical effects, because it didn't feel like the animals were really there. With that said, oh, actually, before I start talking about the one scene I most want to talk about, there's one other thing. Mr. Masrani. The whole time he was in this film, I couldn't work out if we were supposed to like him or dislike him, because half the time he seemed to be saying things that made us not like him, and half the time he seemed to be saying things that made us like him, and he just didn't seem to be that likeable a character in terms of, well, everything about him. But at the same time, it seemed like they were also trying to make him likeable. It was like they themselves hadn't decided who this character should be. And my mum didn't like him, but the main reason for that was, she told me after seeing the film, the moment she first saw him, she initially thought he was Jeff Goldblum, then realised a couple of seconds afterwards that he wasn't, and then was immediately bitterly disappointed in the film for not having Jeff Goldblum in it. And I've got to be honest, I didn't think that, because I already knew he wasn't in it. But I did miss some of the old cast members. I thought it was a bit odd that only Doctor Wu was chosen, and I also thought it was kind of odd that he was kind of made into a villain. But there were some creative ideas, and when it comes to creativity, that end scene was amazing. I mean, you had Indominus Rex versus T-Rex with a raptor on the T-Rex's side, and there's just all this amazing violence, which is, well, let's just say the T-Rex wins and the Mosasaur eats it. I know that was a huge spoiler, but the thing is, this is how a T-Rex fight was supposed to be. You have them crashing into things. You have awesome, badass action, which appeals to every childish part of my brain. And it's so fantastically done as a scene. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to plug this in. But I just cannot get over the one main part of the scene, which I thought was freaking genius, which was when they had the T-Rex smash the Spinosaurus skeleton. It was just this huge sort of screw you Jurassic Park 3 moment, because of that shameful scene in Jurassic Park 3 when Spiny killed T-Rex, even though T-Rex got its jaws around Spinosaurus' neck first, and when you consider that T-Rex teeth were 12 inches long, well up to, and T-Rex bite force is estimated to be between 37,000 and 57,000 newtons per tooth, which when you consider that we only have 1,000 newtons in our entire mouth, that's freaking insane. It's literally thought to be the strongest bite force of any organism to have ever lived. And when those jaws crunched onto Spinosaurus' jaw in Jurassic Park 3, the amount of damage to the bones in the neck vertebra, the blood vessels, the muscle tissue, it would have been so catastrophic that Spiny should have died instantly. There is no way that Spinosaurus could have won that fight, and it did. And that is why the scene of T-Rex smashing through the Spinosaurus skeleton, just to say screw you to Jurassic Park 3, that is why that scene is freaking awesome. Oh, and all the rest of it. But yeah, freaking amazing scene. And there's one thing I was meaning to talk about. Oh yeah, one thing I didn't like. They made it some sort of big reveal when it was revealed that the Indominus Rex was part raptor. But that seemed rather odd to me because when I first saw it, I thought, hey look, it's the mutant love child of a velociraptor with 1997's Godzilla. And heck, I don't complain about that. The mutant love child between those would be a freaking badass monster. But after that, do you really expect us to be surprised that it's part raptor when it looked so much like a raptor? I mean, if you were to take me and make a giant version of me and then put some spikes on my back and then say that I was part me, or that it was part me, it would be blindingly obvious. You'd win like the Captain Obvious Award of the decade. So, how did it take them that long to remember? I don't know. But anyway, in spite of that, I loved the film. The cast were great. Oh, one more thing. Katie McGrath. Katie McGrath is a brilliant actress, and she was really underused in this film. I thought it was a real shame how little she was in it, and then she just got so unceremoniously killed off, sort of probably less than halfway through, I'm not quite sure, but she got picked up by a pterosaur and then thrown into the mosasaur tank. And I just looked at that and I thought, oh, Katie McGrath, why? Why did you waste such a talented actress? And, there was another scene I didn't like, where after the aunt shoots a ridiculously oversized Dimorphodon after it's been attacking Chris Pratt, and the kids see that, and then a little while later, when they're in the car, they say that they want to be with Chris Pratt. But that aunt is freaking badass. She's been running like crazy from all these dinosaurs in insanely long heels. Anyone who can do that is an insane badass. Probably. And she shot a freaking ridiculously oversized Dimorphodon. She's the one you'd want to stay with if you want to be safe. Just saying. Other than that, I have nothing much really to say about it. Oh yeah, the score was excellent, the music. Brilliant job. I cannot remember your name, but you did a very good job of infusing your own music with John Williams' original theme. Really good job on that. Okay, so I know I made it sound like I'm going to end this review an insane number of times already, and before I think of anything else to talk about, I think it's best that I sign off. Bye!